a pound of mixed organic greens. I'm going to see how much I can actually get into the blender. You can really stuff a lot in there. So this is a video of how I make my green smoothie. And it's going to taste so good. Now, I don't like green juices, and I don't know that I really ever even had green smoothies before doing this hyper nourishing protocol. But I'm going to show you everything, and then how I freeze the bananas. And you want spots. You want even more spots than that. Like, you want a lot of spots, you know what I'm saying? And then I have fresh cantaloupe. So these I'm putting in the fridge, and then I'm freezing some of it for the first time. So I'll show you how I do that. And then we're gonna get going. Make sure I'm still in the frame, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna stuff this Vitamix with as much greens as possible. I haven't really recorded much from this angle, so I want to make sure you see what I'm doing. Right? So you're stuffing, stuffing, stuffing. All right. It's amazing how much can really fit in there, especially mixed greens. It's more difficult when you use things like broccoli or whatnot. Okay. So I think that's about it. Oh my goodness. I might be able to fit all of it in there, y'all. Okay, let's go for it. It's dripping because despite it being triple wash, I still use my baking soda and my antimicrobial soak. Okay, so let me show this to you. I just washed my hair and it's still drying out, so excuse the mess. Okay, so that's probably more than is needed, but you want to get like 3/4 of the blender filled with the greens. So I'll stuff it down a little bit more. Okay, so next, fresh organic cantaloupe that almost slipped out of my hand. All right, cantaloupe, cantaloupe. I found that honeydew, cantaloupe, they all make it so yummy. You can use a 1/2 cup, 3/4, a 1/4 cup. It makes the smoothie much more thick and gelatinous the more that you use. So I'm experimenting with a little bit less. This is about 1/4 cup of golden flax. I like the golden flax better. And you can get this in bulk at the co-op for like $1.99 a pound. Oh my goodness, right? And then chia. Right now I'm just experimenting to see if my gut does better with just the flax, but I do combination. This is the white chia. There's some black chia in there. That's more like the cheapest I found is $4.99 a pound at Natural Grocers. Okay, so we've got the flax seeds in there. We've got the cantaloupe, and then these are my organic frozen bananas that are already frozen. I'll show you 2 ways that you can freeze your bananas. My floor is literally dripping wet from those greens. Perfect, perfect for this video. All right, so I'm gonna start squishing this down there. So bananas, 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 bananas. You know what I'm saying? And then the last thing that I put, that's probably good, are dates. And these are from 7 Hot Dates. They're sold out right now, but they are direct from the farm, organic, raw dates. All right. And then I'm going to quickly take the seeds out and the little tops out. And then we are going to fill it with mountain spring water. And we get the Mountain Valley in the glass jar, the 5-gallon. And we put that in our dispenser, which is just on the other side over here, actually. And then we've been using these 1/2-gallon glass jars to put our water in. Devin's basically drinking 1 a day, and I'm basically drinking as much as I can. Okay, so there's the smoothie. And we're about to put water in it. Move this over here. Oh, and I have this little coconut, young coconut. I have this coconut jack device that just opens it up, and then you can scrape the meat out. They have these two tools that come with it, so you can do little coconut strands, or you can just scrape the entire chunk out. So I'm going to do that later. Look how much meat is in there, you guys. Can you see that? Oh. I don't edit my video, so. I just realized I have this lapel mic, so you're going to hear my drinking. So excuse that, because I'm not going to be editing that out. Okay. All right, here we go. Agua. And then you fill it up to 40 ounces. And sometimes it's a little hard to tell what 40 ounces is, because when you have everything so jam-packed, you have to sort of wait until the water settles to really see where it's at. Okay, so let's throw this on to the Vitamix. All right, so I'm gonna pause this so you don't hear all this. Be right back. All right, so I'm back, and this smoothie is so dang green. This is greener than usual, I think, because I really wanted to pack in the greens to show you guys that you can literally squeeze in so many greens in there. So it's usually either 2 of these jars and a little spillover, or one of the larger jars. I have so many jars, like here, there, everywhere. Oh, in case anybody's wondering, my hair is past my knees. It gets really sort of not as much toward the end, but I just let it air dry. So that's what I do. I don't dye, I don't blow dry, just let this stuff air dry. And by the way, I think right when I turned 40, because I'm 41, I just turned 41 recently, I started getting white hair. So I do have like several white hairs. Sad. It's sad. My husband has, like, you know, half of his head of his hair is grayish and whitish, so he's like, whatever, girl, quiet down, right? So anyways, let's get this poured. Okay, so I've been using more flax and chia previously, so it would be more thick, and I found that it was harder to drink. Even when I kept it in the fridge, it would just be so thick to drink later on. So I'm trying to basically do more water and less, because less of the seeds, because I also eat the chia and flax in like dressings, crackers, and I'm going to be making recipes, etc. All right, let's give this a taste. Not the best one I made, but really dang good. Chew your smoothie, get that saliva, get all that activated, because all the digestion starts right up in here. The most prominent thing is like either spinach or chard, which I don't love. But you can get different kind of mixed greens. Like we're gonna get local mixed greens, and then, you know, some of it's more cruciferous, others is more lettuce. So the more lettuce you get, the less of that green, spinachy, cabbagey, chardy type taste. The melon and the banana plus the dates help so much. The more flax and chia you put in, the more it has sort of like almond buttery kind of a flavor and texture to it. I have this so that I don't waste anything, you guys, because you need to be scraping all the edges down and not just, you know, putting that into the sink and just, okay, bye to all those lovely greens and nutrients, right? Okay, so there's a few little flax seeds that didn't get ground up, but for the most part, it all gets ground up. I was also grinding them beforehand, which is fine too, because then you can use it for other things. But yeah, it grinds well just directly in there. Okay, so in terms of the bananas, so here's what I do. Oh, and I learned this other little hack recently, using things like cinnamon adds a little bit of sweetness. I'll do that. Pumpkin spice. The person just said cinnamon on this video, but I've got that. I've got apple pie spice. This is like seriously old. Look how old it is. It's, you know, Frontier's totally changed their label. But you know what? If it still tastes good, it is all good. Oh, and then nutmeg. That was my own little thing. Nutmeg, organic nutmeg, and organic vanilla bean powder. And then have another cinnamon as well, just regular cinnamon. The Ceylon cinnamon is much lighter of a cinnamoniness, and this is definitely stronger and more of a sweetness to it. So I'm going to add some of that into it, and what you do is you put it in. You don't just stir it because you'll be stirring forever. You have to push it down. Actually, let me just show you. I've got some smoothie on my arm, y'all. All right, so let's do some cinnamon. So put a bunch of cinnamon, some nutmeg. Okay, so what happens is when you just stir it, it just sort of stays on top. You see how it's just sort of floating on top? But if you push it down and then you stir it, it incorporates it really well. So this little spatula thing that I think came with some kind of kit, there's no even brand on it. It may have come with like a little baking silicone kit that I got with the mat and the roller, and came with the spatula. Okay, so that's what you do. Then you can sort of just stir it, and you can add more because sometimes it just sort of covers it up. I don't know, makes you feel like it's fall and Thanksgiving and the holidays. It is really, really good. So for people that have trouble drinking green anything, that just takes it to another level. And by the way, even my Great Pyrenees Blue, like the smoothie, I already feed him Daily Green Boost every day, barley juice grass powder. And then I am also feeding him this organic mix of fruits in either coconut yogurt for probiotics, or there's a liquid sort of a yogurt drink that I give him as well. So he loves that. Well, he eats it. He might love it. I don't know. He's eating it like he loves it, but he hasn't been like, hey, mommy, can I get more? So yeah, and he licked this. So I want to start feeding him this as well. All right. So now bananas. I just have my like compost bin, and then I have these, which are compostable gallon zipper bags, 100% compostable, so that I'm not using plastic. Plus it's compostable. I don't know that this is backyard compostable. I got these from the co-op recently. Yeah, compostable in industrial facilities where available, which says most of these are not backyard compostable. What is backyard compostable is this brand, and I have their parchment baking paper and their paper snack and sandwich bags. This is backyard compostable. It says right here, home OK compost, right there, right? And it's on this one too. But if it doesn't say that, then it's not. Like bio bag is same thing. These are snack size bags. These are compostable only at the facility. which it says it somewhere here, but anyways, so there you go. So this is just a little thing that I'm using. So you could do that, go directly in the bag. I used to work at an organic smoothie. It was a juice bar and cafe, and they made smoothies and juices, and I cooked the food there as well. And so she would have like large trays, and then she would put saran wrap just so it wouldn't stick, and then cut up the bananas into pieces. But I've just sort of broken them in half, throw them in there, throw them in the freezer. One level is really easy to take off, but you can do two, you can stack three and just sort of bring it out and wait a bit. But the thing to do is to keep it as flat as possible. So you can see, like with the cantaloupe, if you don't like stuff it full and you do this, you can take it out of the freezer, you know, drop it onto the counter a few times, and it'll break it up really quite well. So those are going to go in the freezer just like that, which is much simpler than having a ton of trays and having to deal with all that. And then these I just cut up, and they keep really fresh. You know, tighten the lid, put them toward the further back of your fridge, because these were already ripe, which is why I decided to freeze some, because I had some really large organic cantaloupes, and they all ripened at their own time, and some of them ripened at the same time. So I thought, oh, let me try to freeze some and see how that goes. But yeah, generally speaking, I like to keep the fresh fruit fresh and just freeze the bananas. And even with the bananas, you could do it not frozen as well, but the consistency will change, right? Because I definitely never use ice. So you just take the banana, and again, you know, you want a lot of spots. Like these didn't ripen up well. Like you want it to look not green anymore, but there's like tinges of green, right? There's still tinges of greens. That means the banana just, you know, was bruised and didn't ripen up properly. So they're not going to be like amazing, but all good. Okay, so throw it right in. And you drop some on the floor as you're doing it as well, for good measure. This is one that half of the one that I threw into the smoothie. And I'm sure I can get something that will hold this bag up a little bit better. But you guys get the idea, right? You get the idea. And probably breaking them up, the bigger ones, into like 3 pieces is better. And then when I'm done, I want to do the same thing, have it where the bag lays as flat as possible. All right, so I'll do a few more. And then I will show you. See, like that's a lot. You think that's a lot of spots, but even that is totally, absolutely fine. You know, you find that the bananas with a lot of spots, they get put on the sale rack. And those are the ones that you want, the ones that are on sale that, you know, they want to get rid of, that nobody wants. If you can hear the banana as you're peeling it, like it sounds like, I'm trying to explain it. It just sounds rough. There's like a lot of noise being created. That means that banana is not ripe. And then also some other tips is, in terms of bananas, these are all not great, but you want a rounder tip so that it's had more time to develop on the actual tree. And that way they are more mature, they taste better, because some bananas are just never going to ripen properly. Right? And then you find that the greener they are when you get them at the store, a lot of them just don't, they just kind of stay green and start basically deteriorating, start bruising and rotting. So definitely with bananas, you gotta really find the right ones. Otherwise they are disappointing. But yeah, the green ones are going to be much higher in starch. You might not digest them well. They're not going to taste good. They're not going to make the smoothie taste good. So like that's pretty good. Like it's got spots all over. It doesn't look bruised. It smells really good. All right, so let's see what we got here. This should be good. Oh yeah. So you see that? You take it, get the air out as I'm using my leg. And that's probably a little bit more than you want, right? And so that was probably about 10 bananas or so. So I'm going to put that in the freezer along with these guys. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you make this combination, what you think. Some other combinations that have been good. Let's see. Oh, mango. I've frozen champagne mangoes. That makes it sweet and creamy. I would say that is potentially just as good, or if not even better, than the cantaloupe. Trying to think of anything else that we've done. Some things were not really great, and if the fruit's not ripe, if the fruit's not sweet, you're just not going to get, you're going to get just mostly greens, right? So cheers, and I look forward to hearing from you below. Bye.